What has it been maybe dealing with me since we have started dating, or from the time that you quit your job? How has the journey been?
I was at a point in my life where I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. I was really interested in, being a police officer, and I felt like that was a passion that I actually wanted to pursue. What was it had you thinking okay, I'm gonna have her work with me and this is going to work out?
It hasn't been anywhere near perfect, to be quite frank with you. Had many challenges working with each other.
Do I got what it takes to be able to, to fulfill this role?
Did you ever think that we were going to move to Florida?
You know what? I honestly didn't. I bet it on you. You have to believe in your partner's vision. You have to be that support system. Last year, we had to make some pretty, tough, difficult choices.
I remember last year being the hardest year that I've ever experienced in my entire life mentally. That was the price that you have to pay in order to be successful. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Omar Lopez Show. I'm right here with my wife, Hilda, and we're just gonna shoot some content, talk about life, talk about business, talk about winning, health, just anything that can motivate and inspire you guys. And what I'm also thinking is that we'll talk about our journey on, how we got started and what's gotten us up to this point where we've been able to win and just stay consistent with life. So, I guess we could take it back from maybe what you used to do and that year that you decided to join the team with me. And we have been together for 7 years, as a couple, and we've been married for 2 years. Our anniversary is actually coming up this coming week. So we got married April 9th of 2022, and we used to live in Palm Springs and Thousand Palms. And from there, we moved to Miami about a year and 9 months ago. So
Yeah, it's already a year and 9 months.
a year and 9 months, and it's been a hell of a journey. Just you and I packing up and leaving the Coachella Valley, selling our house, and just going all in on ourselves. So what has it been maybe dealing with me and our journey ever since we have started dating, or I don't know, maybe since you quit your job, So why don't we start there, from the time that you quit your job? How was it, and how has the journey been? Maybe it's been easy for you, maybe it's been harder than you thought. So let's take it back from 2021, maybe from when you quit your job.
Yeah, absolutely. So I come from a medical background, nothing fancy. I was a medical assistant at a doctor's office in Palm Springs, where I worked there. I was 2 years, 2 years and a, wait, what's it, 2 years? 2 years and a half, almost gonna go down to 3 years. I was at a point in my life where I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue, going to college right after I had graduated, or if I wanted to do law enforcement. Because during that time, I was really interested in, being a police officer, and I felt like that was a passion that I actually wanted to pursue. But I guess with time, I kind of just got away from that background, and I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to do something, whether if it was going to be working somewhere at a Target, or just a seasonal job, or go back to school. But I knew that I wanted to do something. Personally, I wouldn't say that I had an entrepreneurial, type of mindset or background. My family, history, it does not come anywhere near to entrepreneurial or having your own business or anything like that. So I guess nonetheless, I did not pursue the law enforcement career with becoming a police officer. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna go to a trade school and I'm gonna study to become a medical assistant. And at the time, I took it as something great. I thought that maybe I could even pursue the career a bit further and maybe become a nurse eventually. But I did medical assisting, went to school for that. I loved everything about it. It was actually very fun. I met great people along the way. And yeah, I ended up getting my first job at a doctor's office, Palm Springs with Dr. Anderson. And I don't know, I really, it was definitely a career that I enjoyed. I enjoyed helping out people, enjoyed helping out patients, and as well, I met people there that, I became pretty good friends with, that I still am good friends with. But I just remember seeing you, on the sidelines, doing your thing. You've always, like, ever since I've, like, known you, you've always had, like, this energy, this, like, drive to go ahead and, like, pursue something. Like, I feel like you've always been, like, pretty entrepreneurial, from, like, selling glasses to wanting to go ahead and start, a career with, like, HVAC and whatnot. So I remember, seeing you, and you would go to these masterminds in the Coachella Valley or Riverside, and then you had told me that you wanted me to start going to these RIA meetings with you. So, I began to go with you, and I didn't think much of it, to be honest. Like, towards the beginning, I felt like I was, like, in a pretty good, like, place where I was at. I liked what I was doing. But at the same time, when it came down to wanting to go, like, to these masterminds with you, it started becoming a little bit, difficult to request time off to go to these masterminds with you, and without it, being a conflict with my 9-to-5 job. So, I would see you, you were, like, taking off. You started, like, taking off eventually with your business that you had going on with purchasing mobile homes. Then you've started getting into purchasing real estate right there in Tri-Palms. So, I did kind of, like, I started getting curious, and I was like, okay, like, maybe, it would be a good idea to go ahead and join the team with you, or see what that looks like, and I guess open up new avenues to something different. And me and you had talked about it, and you would voice your opinion in regards to how it would be nice for me to start joining you for these masterminds, not having to worry about requesting time off to do these sorts of things with you. So I ended up, I guess I gotta thank you, of course, for being the support and, providing that. I'm not sure if, like, security would be, like, the right word, but I guess opportunity would be the better way to put it. You gave me the opportunity to be able to quit my 9-to-5 job and be able to join forces with you. So that's what happened in November of 2021. I ended up quitting my 9-to-5 job, and that's when I decided to join forces with you, and we took it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what was it, like, in regards, like, to you that made, like, that had you thinking, like, okay, like, I'm gonna have her work with me, and this is going to work out, and we're gonna be, like, doing so well.
right. So, to anybody that's out there listening, it hasn't been anywhere near perfect, to be quite frank with you. So we have definitely had many challenges working with each other, and I think an inspiration that I've had for working with you, I used to see Larry and Janet French. There's some mentors of ours that we have back in the Coachella Valley, and Janet and Larry have been able to build an empire of real estate. They bought a mobile home park, and they own a lot of houses. I think since then they have sold the mobile home park. So I always said, you know what, let's do this together. And yeah, definitely it's been challenging, so basically what I wanted us to do is I wanted us to have the freedom to create our own lives to start, because I would see you request the time off at the 9 to 5, and the other thing too was that you were making $15 an hour working as a medical assistant, and I honestly, I couldn't tolerate that. I said, you know what? If we are going to create an empire together, if we're going to be working together in real estate, then you might as well just come work with me, even if you did administrative tasks or whatever the case was, you know?
Right.
So I didn't enjoy the fact that you would have to request the time off, and I used to go to an event and this and that, and it just didn't sit well with me, right? I said, if we're going to create our lives, we just have to take off. So from there, we just did the math, and we took a leap of faith, and you ended up quitting your job in 2021. So since then, I know in the beginning, it definitely had its challenges, because, and it still has its challenges. Like what I'm saying is, I didn't have any processes in place, and I remember telling you, all right, go ahead and do this, go ahead and do that, go ahead and do this, and they were just things that I knew in my head, but you know, it came down from managing the rental properties that we had, and from not having processes documented, to just telling you, hey, go for this, go for that, right? So
Right.
From there, I think that was 2021. I don't know. What did you think, I guess? How was it going to be for you? Did you think that by you quitting your job, you were going to be able to, you know, just make your own rules? Did you think it was going to be easy? How has it been for you? Has it been hard, or what can somebody expect from diving into real estate for you?
Boy, I mean, definitely uncertainties. You know, you're stepping into a new life, a new world that you've never like stepped into, and you don't have no experience on. And I guess having that faith in yourself too. You know, kind of asking yourself like, do I got like what it takes to be able to, you know, to fulfill this role, or, you know, make even bigger and grander things with it. And for me, it kind of was, it was a bit challenging, because of course, you know, it was something that I had never done before. You had some experience already doing it. So I guess like when I first initially had jumped into that role, which was, you know, first starting off like driving for dollars, doing like admin like work. It wasn't hard at all whatsoever, but I guess where it did kind of change was kind of like, you know, the dynamic that we have, because once you start working with your spouse or like your significant other, it's a little bit different, because you know, there's going to be a certain tonality that's going to be used for you to get certain things done. We may not like it, you know. I may not like the way that it sounds, and sometimes, I mean, it's not even like that big of a deal, you know. But I guess it is, you know, pretty challenging to jump into business with your partner, and I guess expecting for it to be like rainbows and sunshine, when in reality, like, it isn't, and you kind of go through like a self-discovery phase where you kind of got to take like a little step back, analyze the situation, and just make sure that there's like no boundaries like being overstepped, but at the same time keeping mental fortitude and not lashing out to your partner, you know, like that's very important to always, like, you know, kind of take a step back and kind of remember that at the end of the day, you know, you guys are still going to go to bed together.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to work, like, you got to put in the work, you know,
Right.
and put those feelings aside. And it was something that I will admit, it was pretty hard for me towards the beginning. I feel like I am a person with a good amount of emotion. I'm not afraid to like show it or like to voice it.
I think you're touching on something really good right here. I think, you know, you're probably going to impact some females out there, or some couples, right? I feel like you're sharing a lot of good stuff right here, that anybody that's out there that is a couple, is married, and maybe you guys are thinking about working with each other. what she's saying right here is something that you guys may want to listen to because you're talking about emotions and working together. And
Right.
as we were mentioning, it has not been easy at all. Some people have even told us that we probably shouldn't even be working together, or maybe not us in specific, but I've heard other people say, yeah, I'll never be able to work with my partner. So you're saying that you have done a lot of self-discovery, and ultimately you have to remember to keep your boundaries, and especially because you're a woman of emotions. And what else were you saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, till today's time, like we will still, we'll still face some struggles and some bumps over the road, but I am proud to say that for sure, from where we first started to where we're at right now, things have bettered, or at least I like to think so,
Yeah.
in regards to how we're handling things now. But yeah, no, it's definitely a scary place to be in when you don't come from a background like that. But I guess at the end of the day, you just gotta take a bet on yourself.
Yeah.
You just gotta
No.
take a bet on yourself and believe in yourself, even on the toughest days. Honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, it's been a challenge because it's well, we made a lot of progress up to this point, but even when I first got into business for myself, being a real estate investor, it was something that I had to bet on myself. And this entire time, we have been betting on ourselves because for me to not go back to work after I had my accident and just going full force into real estate has been a bet on myself to generate my own income. That's what we do as entrepreneurs. And that's what we're going to continue to do for the rest of our lives. I will never go back and have a job again. And I don't think that you'll go back and ever have a job again.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would say it was pretty eye-opening. Well, I was given the opportunity by you to join forces with you, and it changes your life completely, from having to go to a 9 to 5, having to report to somebody, asking for time off.
But here's the funny thing. We think that, oh, 9 to 5, you don't report to anybody. But guess what? Right now is a Saturday, and
And
we've
we're
been working.
still in here.
We've been working the majority of the day. It's maybe 8 o'clock right now. So even though you don't have this boss or this 9 to 5, we have more of a 9 to 8, if you will, right? We have a longer schedule because we're the business owners, right?
Right.
But it's okay because we're making an investment into ourselves. We're making an investment into our company, and the rewards are going to be beyond fruitful, and they already have been. We live in Miami now. We live in a nice area, 10 minutes from the beach. If you guys know Miami, it's the most beautiful place in the U.S. to live in. It is more expensive than other areas. We have
The fittest people out here, the best foods out here, best beaches.
right, and we've been able to create this all on our own. We just stepped out on a limb, and we've been able to create a team, developing a culture. It's still a work in progress, but I guarantee that we will look back 10 years from now, and we will be beyond proud of ourselves of what we have and what we'll accomplish in 10 years from now. So, taking it a step back. So from there, we were able to work for each other, with each other in 2021. And we used to go driving for dollars together. And for a while, you used to go driving for dollars, doing some of the grunt work. And
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
you got to start somewhere, right? I drove the entire Coachella Valley. She did too, making it happen. That's another good thing that we could talk about is having a very good support system with each other because, you've been very supportive of everything that I've done, honestly, and I can't thank you enough. I think you've been awesome at supporting everything that I do, even from moving to Miami and just taking all the risks because I'm more of the risk taker, right?
Right.
I feel that you just have to put up with my shit
He's
most
more
of
of
the
the
time.
risk taker.
Yeah, I'm the one that is gonna push her boundaries even more, and she's the one that's gonna put up with me. And if anything is broken, she's gonna go ahead and fix it. She's just always there, right? So that you got to get yourself a ride or die like Hilda. So from there, fast forward to 2022, and then me giving you the news or selling you on the vision of us coming to Florida. Did you ever think that we were going to move to Florida?
You know what? I honestly didn't. I know you had mentioned it briefly on. I think you had came down here for a mastermind, or you came out here for something related to an event with real estate. And then I remember you coming back, and you were like, "Oh my gosh, I went to Miami. I love it out there. Like, we're gonna move out there." And when you told me that, I was like, "Nah, like, this ain't gonna happen. Like, it's he's just saying it, just to talk out of his ass. Like, it's not gonna happen."
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward to, when was it? It was
The beginning of 2022 or the end of 2021?
no, when we went to Boardroom in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
We had came down here, and it was the first, or one of the, like, it was the second time, but that I came down here to the Miami area, and that's when you had told me, like, we're gonna move out here, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Well, fast forward to 2022, we got married, April 2022, we came down here to Miami, May,
Mm-hmm.
and when we were out here, we started scoping, like, the area to see, which areas we thought we would like. Even at that point, I kind of thought, like, nah, like, this guy is kidding, like.
Really?
Yeah, I was still kind of, like, I had my doubts. I didn't think that it was going to, like, 100% happen, or at least, like, not that fast,
Right.
I thought it was probably going to happen eventually in 2022. But when we came out here, I remember we were looking at places, we applied for them, and then what were our odds that we ended up getting approved for one of the places we had applied for within that week, instantly,
Right.
And it was just kind of like this belief, because we were down here in May, we got approved for a house. We go back to the Coachella Valley. Took us a month to, like, pack our things, and then by July, we made it cross country over here with our dog. And I was still in disbelief, but I mean, I took a leap of faith, I bet it on you, but I think what's most important is that, and this goes for anybody out there, you have to believe in your partner's vision, You have to be, like, that support system no matter what.
Yeah.
And I felt like it's always been like that, like, since day one, where we may have, like, different, personalities, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's very important to believe in your partner's vision and be supportive as much as you can, like, 100%,
Yeah.
Because without support and without trusting your partner, then it's like a broken foundation there,
Yeah.
And you're not gonna get far like that. So I've always loved your vibe, your energy, and I have always believed in what your vision is and in the grand scheme of things that we'll be able to accomplish,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty difficult, first year, not gonna lie, when we first came out here, because we came out here without not knowing anybody, no family, no friends and whatnot, and yeah, but I just think that at the end of the day...
That is the ultimate bet on ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I know that in the last year we have been able to grow tremendously. Not knowing anybody in Miami, no friends, no family, just coming, selling our house. We said, fuck it, we're selling our house. We're cashing out, we're getting a place in Miami. Who gives a shit? Back up against the wall, we're gonna make it happen. Coming over here, setting up shop, getting an office, hiring people, and it's just been a cycle. And then during that time, the interest rates went up a little bit. So not just us, other real estate investors themselves ended up feeling a little bit of a hit, especially in our industry, because, we buy and sell houses, and the interest rates cause a downward inflection in prices. So, buying activity withdrew. People thought that the recession was coming, and we were trailblazing. I was going full force ahead. I remember last year being the hardest year that I've ever experienced in my entire life mentally, just knowing that we had left the nest. We're not close to our parents. We're not close to our comfort. We were literally in our in discomfort, right? We were
Yeah, pretty
literally
much.
where we said, you know what, this is it. We have to make it or break it. We're not gonna go get a job. We're not gonna go apply anywhere. Like that was the last thing on our mind. Like who the hell? I mean, kudos to everybody who has a job, right? But I mean, that was never on our mind. We never said we're gonna go out and get a job or anything. We said we're just gonna make this happen, and we literally grinded it out, grinded it out, grinded it out. Made sure we happened. Stayed late, showed up early, and stayed late. Really, just working 7 days a week, just making it happen, making it happen. And you know, I think over the last year we've been able to make over $1 million. Of course, that's not all net. But real estate has pretty healthy margins, right? So
Let's take it a quick step back. I mean, you mentioned that last year was the hardest year, which it was. I'll testify to that. What was it that kept you, sane and kept you, down here in earth for you to continue to move forward, strive through, continue with the office that we have, continue to grow the team? Because, I mean, last year we had to make some pretty, tough, difficult choices to let go of a few team members, and it was a pretty rough time, but, we were able to go through it. What went behind, like, what was going through your mind, and how were you able to surpass all of that chaos?
I mean, honestly, if you ask me, we're just getting started, right? We're just getting started. So I felt that was the price that you have to pay in order to be successful, right? We're just
Right.
getting started. That is literally where our competition stops, right? So we had to go through that, and we still, in some ways, have to go through that.
Absolutely.
We're still scratching the surface right now. We've been able to build something that is pretty good, but it's not as good as where it's going to be. So the vision, the greater good of what we're doing is what kept me going. Our parents, your parents, our family back in California, they rely on us, right? So
Right.
our vision relies on us. I mean, we're literally going to be multi millionaires. We're just gonna make it. We're gonna be able to live the life that we've always wanted, and that's what kept me going, and what has kept me going. That is just the God telling us, like, during those hard times, He was saying, "Are you ready for this?" He's asking me, like, "Oh yeah, do you really want success? Do you really have what it takes? I'm testing you right now." Whenever it gets hard is where everybody else quits.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely, agree with everything that you've said so far. And if there's one thing that I really do admire about you, of course, is the energy that you put into this. And even on the darkest and greatest days, you still go through, you persevere. And you're the first one that walks into this office, the last one that leaves, and you're just making it happen.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, now I think, the challenges are always going to be there.
Right.
I'm realizing that, right? There's always going to be challenges, but I think that my level of stress tolerance to handle the challenge has grown. My tolerance has grown.
What do you contribute that to?
It's just you contribute that to handling more and more stress. Your ability to be successful is your ability to tolerate amounts of stress that would break other people. The stress that you and I experience would break other people. It would literally crumble them. Now, it might not be as stressful as what billionaires are able to handle, but it's just like a muscle, right? It's like a
Right.
muscle. The muscle that you're pumping in the gym, you get stronger. Somebody that's weak and tries to lift a bunch of weight, it's gonna crumble them. They can't sustain it. So mentally, the stress that we're enduring, it's a callus, it's a muscle that gets built up over time. So the more stress that we can handle, the more successful that we'll be, right? So
Right.
it's just a muscle that gets added on, and it's just the price that you have to pay. We come from a family, from a generation that has never endured the amount of stress, the amount of financial responsibility that we've been exposing ourselves to. So we haven't been preconditioned to this environment, right? So
Right.
now we're the ones that are, setting a new path, a new branch for the rest of our family. So um, where were we going with this? We were just talking about the mentality, the stress levels that we can
Facing last year's.
last year, right? So they're still there, right? Like we have a chaos in our lives. I was reading a book by Brian Tracy that every 2 to 3 months you're gonna have a chaos in your life,
Yeah, it's gonna
right?
be like you can't always be going straight. You're gonna be having those moments where you're doing good,
And
and
then,
then
right.
you go
But
down.
you just got to keep on going up.
Yeah.
You got to keep on going up. We got to keep on going up. So, one thing that I've always remembered from John Maxwell when I seen him speak at the 10x Growth Conference a few years ago, he says that you're never going to climb to the top of the mountain on accident. You're never just going to end up at the top of the mountain and just like wake up one day and ask yourself, oh my God, how did I get here? Yeah, right. That shit'll never happen.
Right.
You're gonna get to the top of the mountain with your backpack, uh, chugging along at the top. Your feet are gonna burn. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna sweat. You're gonna hate it. You're gonna think that why am I doing this? But then once you get to the top of the mountain, you take your pack off. You take your shoes off and you get to relax at the top and you get to be proud of yourself and say, damn, I really made it at the top. And guess what? There's only one way to coast. If you want to coast it in life, it's downhill, baby. If you want to be a coaster, it's going to be downhill, not uphill. And guess what? The views are better at the top. So, nowadays we hit the gym, we stay consistent, we go to yoga, we do ice baths,
We eat clean.
we
I
eat
would say.
clean, for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, we'll have some, like last night we went to Texas de Brazil, we took out the team, had a bunch of steak. Probably wasn't the cleanest, but it was still pretty good. Oh, we fast, right? I haven't ate anything since yesterday.
Yikes. Well, I had those two toasts earlier, but
Yeah, I haven't had any food for maybe, it's probably been about,
a full 24 hours now.
no, I think it's maybe been about
Oh, wait,
18
no.
hours. Or when I ate the yogurt in the nighttime, and it was probably like 10. I haven't ate any food for about 22 hours. So we do things like that, right? We fast, we build our mental fortitude. We do yoga and all that stuff. So all that stuff, it's challenges that we add. They're deposits of challenges that we put into our own lives on purpose. We do everything on purpose, and that's what kind of builds up the mental fortitude. And guess what? It's not gonna stop. We're gonna keep on going, right?
Yeah, right.
We're gonna keep on going. So, yeah, I guess I don't know. So we're fast forwarding to like one of the hard years last year. Now we're entering a new year. We started having a better year in quarter 3, quarter 4, and we have a beautiful team that works with us. And I guess
I would like to point something out though, that I guess I kind of like, when you're going in business, you go through like moments of like self-discovery within yourself. You start off, or I'll speak like for myself personally. I started off and I kind of felt like a reindeer like with the headlights, like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing type of thing. But you've always been there as well, like, to support me, be able to guide me through the way. And if there's something that I have learned and that you've emphasized a lot is figuring things out on your own, not just relying on like one person to spoon feed you the information, and just be more dependent and figure it out on your own. And I feel that within the last year, for sure, I've entered a new phase that I didn't think I have that I had in me before. And it just comes down to, you know, personally developing yourself. As you're getting, you know, as you're putting yourself into the world of business and you wanting to become a better person internally in regards to becoming a better leader, being more confident, it all comes down to the work that you're putting in behind the scenes, such as going to the gym, getting that extra rep in, even on the days that you feel like shit and you don't want to do anything, you know?
Yeah.
Going to yoga.
Yeah.
Yoga has, you know, you are amazing at yoga, and I know that you were the one that got me into it. And within the last year, I started incorporating that into my routine, and it's been pretty life-changing, you know?
Yeah, it's life-changing for
In
sure.
regards to, you know, the amount of stress that you're able to handle, you know, your mood changes completely different and you morph into a completely different person. So, also, you know, learning new things, picking up a new book, journaling, and I guess just surrounding yourself with a better crowd, you know, meeting new people. I know that's something that I've lacked on personally to do, but I've been putting myself out there and I feel that I've been creating, you know, new relationships. There has been some that, you know, a lot throughout the way, it's gonna suck, you know, you're gonna, once you like jump into a new world where you want to go ahead and personally like develop yourself and take yourself to that next best level, you're gonna have to cut people off that unfortunately are not they don't align with you anymore, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So I just think that I guess where I'm going with this is, you know, personally like developing yourself and just bettering yourself, like Nick Perry says, 1% better every day.
1% better every day.
So, you know, I guess I would credit you as well because you have pushed me. And that's just, that's the beauty of this life, you know, that we're able to do whatever the hell we want. And it's up to us to take the reins and actually like put in the work to be where we see ourselves, you know, heading to.
1,000%.
So
Yeah, no, 1,000%. And honestly, you know, I think you gotta give yourself the credit, right? Because although I do push you, ultimately the one that makes it happen is yourself,
yeah,
right? Because you know, I could, you know, you can't teach a horse to drink the water. They're gonna want to drink the water themselves. So, you know, ultimately, I know that you have been pushing yourself, and you know, I got to give you some fist bump right there because I have seen the woman that you've transformed yourself over the last year. I think over the last year you have definitely grown a lot. You have really been impressing me, especially over the last couple of months. And I do like the fact that you have been adopting that figure it out mentality, right? Like there's one thing that I, you know, admire about a person is when they just figure it out. You know, like that's what it's all about with creating a team and creating and leveraging other people, right?
right.
If you are the source of information and everybody has to go for you, I mean, ultimately as a leader, you know, a lot of people rely on you, but you want to have a team and you want to have a relationship where, you know, if we're working as a team, it's like, hey, listen, you have your role, I have my role, you figure out whatever it is you have to do. And honestly, I haven't seen that you've been doing the credit program, you know, you've been handling administrative tasks, you know, with the credit program, you have an 830 credit score. She's been working with a credit course where she is learning how to get more lines of credit, you know, remove hard inquiries.
Elite, baby.
Shout out to Credit Counsel Elite out there with Brandon Elliott and his beautiful wife, Jennifer. So, you know, it's all up from here, you know. I think we're just getting started. So, yeah, I think, you know, this might be a good conclusion right here. You know, if anybody, we'll save some more for next time. We'll pop in here again. We'll do an episode 2.
Oh, there's still a whole lot more to uncover, you know.
Yeah.
This is just like the surface.
Yeah, we'll just kind of save some for you guys. So, If you guys want to follow us, you could follow me on at the Omar Lopez. Same for other social media channels. I think it's the same for YouTube and TikTok. I'll confirm that. But
let us know what you guys would want to see in regards to any more topics that has to do with couples. Shoot your questions over, and we will be glad to cover them. For
yeah,
sure.
that's a great point right there. I didn't think of that. Let us know what you guys want to see in terms of how we work with each other, how we throw punches at each other, and kick each other out of the room.
We'll be pretty transparent. I'm pretty open to it.
Yeah. We're not gonna hide anything right here. If you guys want to know about real estate, wholesaling, novations, for Q1 we closed on $348,000 in revenue. We used to make $30,000 a year. Now we make $348,000 per quarter. Again, not all profit, of course. Calculate 25 to 30% profit margins on that. Do the math. So after paying ourselves an owner's compensation. So let's just wrap this up right now, and you can follow her. What's your IG handle?
It is Hilda Tapia 2. Damn, I don't even know my own user. It's Hilda Tapia 2.
Yeah.
Hilda Tapia and the number 2. You're
gonna have to do some work on your social media.
Yeah, I'm gonna build it up.
All right, guys.